In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what you should be doing with your life if you're someone who wants to maximize your potential as a human being. So the question of the day today is, how does a human being live the best life possible? And what does that even mean? So you might be wondering, like, Adam, how are you going to tell me how to live the best life possible? Because isn't every single person unique? Don't we all have our own individual strengths and talents and passions and interests? So how could you give me like a one-size-fits-all plan? Well, yes, every single person is a beautiful, unique snowflake, and we do all have a different way to maximize our potential. But what I'm going to be sharing with you here in this video are the universal principles that all human beings have in common. Because after all, we're all part of the same species, and we all have the same brain, the same body, the same physical structure. So what I've discovered through my study of personal development and spirituality for over the last 6 years is that there are certain universal principles that if you align your life to these principles, then you are going to experience deep fulfillment and satisfaction from your life. I wish that somebody told me this stuff 10 years ago, because when I was in high school, I had no clue at all what to do with my life. And I was a pretty smart kid. I had a lot of potential, and somewhere deep in my heart, I knew that I wanted to live an amazing life. I wanted to live an extraordinary life. Not, I didn't want to be some mediocre wage slave that just works 9 to 5 and just watches TV all day. I wanted to do something awesome with my life, but the problem was that I didn't know how. I had absolutely no guidance at all. I wish that when I was in school, somebody talked to me and sat me down and said, "Hey, Adam, welcome to Earth. Congratulations, you made it. You got the beautiful human body. Here is how you make the best use of it. Here is how you invest in yourself proactively so that 10, 20 years down the road, you can reap the fruits of this beautiful life." And no one told me this. No one gave me, the instruction manual for how to live on Earth. And what I ended up doing was just wasting all my high school and teenage years just playing video games all day, watching way too much porn, smoking way too much weed, eating way too much junk food, and just distracting myself, just chasing after pleasure because I had nothing else to do. I had no plan. I had no guidance, no vision for my life. And this made me feel very depressed because deep in my heart, I felt like I was wasting my life. I felt like I wasn't doing anything with myself. I felt like I had all this potential, but I felt like it was going down the toilet. And I remember one night, I was so depressed in my room. It was like 2 in the morning. I was playing video games all night, and I felt like shit because I had a stomach full of junk food, and I just masturbated like 100 times, and I was high. And I just remember thinking to myself, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this. I don't feel attractive, I don't feel confident, and I don't feel like my best self. And I saw that if I continued down this trajectory, then I would live a shitty life where I lived in regret every single day for not making the most of myself. So I discovered on YouTube a personal development channel that introduced me to this idea of self-actualization, and I just stumbled upon it by chance. And when I discovered this, it completely changed my life forever. The channel is called actualize.org. And when I started watching these videos, I was opened up to an entirely new world. The vision was that if I just do personal development, if I actually read books, if I meditate, if I work on my exercise and my diet, if I do contemplation, shadow work, if I journal, if I discover my life purpose, if I express myself creatively, and I do that long term, over 5 or 10 years, proactively, not reactively. So most people do personal development reactively, like I was doing because I was Googling because I felt like shit and I wanted to figure out how to feel better. So normally we search for personal development to solve some kind of deficiency that we have in our life, either it be relationships, money, or health. But what this person was telling me, Leo Gura on actualize.org, he was telling me the difference between shallow personal development and deep transformative personal development is that we are striving towards a long-term vision and we're growing towards the vision, as opposed to running away or reacting against deficiencies. We're actually growing towards potentials. And this lit a light bulb up in my head where I realized, okay, I'm fully bought in, because I had no other plan. I was like, this self-actualization, that sounds a lot better than playing video games and trying to max out my character in Skyrim. So over the last 6 years, I went full steam ahead on this self-actualization stuff. I'm going to show you exactly how I did that here in this video. And my life experience has been completely transformed. My emotional mastery is way above average. My frequency of peak experiences is much higher. I every single day, I honestly cry tears of joy and inspiration. I have so much appreciation for the miracle of life. I feel like I'm utilizing my natural strengths and I'm actually putting them into art that helps people. I feel like I'm having a positive impact on other people's lives. And I feel spiritually connected to life. And this wouldn't have been possible unless I learned this plan that I'm going to be sharing with you here in this video. So self-actualization is a term that was coined by the psychologist Abraham Maslow, and what he discovered is that some people are living completely rare, profound lives that are totally different than just the average mediocre life. Some people that he termed self-actualizing people are people whose entire motivational system is not normal at all. They're motivated towards the expression of growth, towards the unfoldment of their potential, whereas most people are motivated away from pain and suffering. So self-actualizing people have the following qualities. They have emotional mastery. What that means is that they can control their emotions and not react to them. Most people just have a knee-jerk reaction. Whenever they feel craving, they just go follow their craving like a zombie. Or whenever they feel angry, they just blow up and they don't even think about it. So self-actualizing people have emotional mastery. They have power over their emotions instead of their emotions having power over them. And that doesn't mean that they suppress their emotions and bottle them up and hold them in. Actually, self-actualizing people have a more full experience of their emotions. They can feel fully sadness and anger and depression and joy and happiness. They feel their emotions fully. They don't suppress them. Also, self-actualizing people are deeply connected to their heart and to their passion They are always asking themselves, what am I most passionate about? What excites me the most? What makes me feel like a little kid? What area of life do I feel the most excited and passionate about? And they are actually following their passion because they know that the feeling in their heart, this feeling of inspiration and lightness. Inspiration, what does that word mean? It literally means to be in spirit, to be light, to feel like you're full of energy and you're connected to the universe. This feeling, if you pursue this feeling, you can create a life for yourself where you feel that way all the time. And that's what a fulfilling life is. Most people they pick a path in their life out of fear, thinking that, oh, I'll just pick the safe path, the path that is guaranteed to get me a job so that I can make money. But self-actualizing people are bold. They have this kind of intuitive knowing that just by following my passion, somehow, some way, I don't know how, it's going to work out for me. Because they have this intuitive knowing almost, and they understand that the universe communicates through to you through your emotions. And if a certain path gives you the emotions of inspiration and excitement and it makes you feel joy, that is the universe telling you to go down that path because it's going to work out amazingly for you. Self-actualizing people have free, authentic expression. They're able to express themselves spontaneously without holding back, without worrying about what other people are thinking of them. They have a certain non-neediness where they don't need the approval of other people. Because in many cases, self-actualizing people have done lots of personal development on themselves to solve their basic needs, their relationship skills, their business skills, marketing skills, leadership skills, and health. So they've solved their deficiency needs so that they're no longer needy. They don't need to pretend to be a certain way in order to get their survival needs met, but they can just be themselves. They can be spontaneous. They can say what they want, whatever's on their mind. And there's something very fulfilling about that. Also, they're connected with their creativity as well. They're actually connected to this deep internal source of intelligence that is just like the creative source of life. If you look at your hands right now, you might notice you actually are creation. The energy that you're made of is creative energy. Every single human being is made in the image of God, according to the Bible. And, not that the Bible is like the arbiter of truth, but it's just, a beautiful analogy that the human being is connected to God, or connected to the creative source of reality. If you don't like that word God, that's okay. I'm meaning there's some kind of deep source of creation. And the self-actualizing person is connecting to that and also expressing that to create new, beautiful things in the world. They're also aware of what their unique gifts and talents are, what their unique strengths are, and they build those strengths proactively. They also have a lot of playfulness. So they're not always taking life so seriously. Everything they do, they have a touch of lightness to it. It's not always life or death. They're able to kind of zoom out of life and take a big picture perspective and not be so attached to the outcome. They can be light and playful. Also, the self-actualizing person has a higher frequency of peak experiences. So most people only experience peak experiences like a few times in their lifetime. The experience where you are feel fully connected to reality, where often these are like awakening experiences or spiritual enlightenment experiences, or just feelings of like pure appreciation and awe. So many people experience this when their child is born, or maybe when they do a psychedelic trip or something like that. But the self actualizing person can have peak experiences every single day. And it actually starts to become almost like your entire life is like a peak experience, where the peak experiences become so frequent where you're just like constantly living in a state of awe and gratitude for the magic of existence. Also, self actualizing people have increased appreciation for reality. They have a kind of freshness of appreciation where normally as we get older, life starts to get old and boring. Where when we see a cat, for example, we don't think twice about it because we're like, oh, it's a cat. You know, I'm 50 years old, I've seen hundreds of cats in my lifetime. But the self actualizing person, regardless of how old they are, they have a certain childlike freshness of appreciation, where each time they see a cat, they can really admire it and appreciate it in the same way where a 2-year-old child sees a cat for the first time. It's like, you know, it's like a magical creature. The self actualizing person can have that childlike appreciation for all of life. Also, the self actualizing person has total acceptance of all the parts of themselves, of other people, and also of nature as well. Total acceptance, not meaning that like, oh, I just totally accept other people, and so that like if someone's taking advantage of me, then I just let them walk all over me. Total acceptance means more like a deep understanding and a non-judgment. So if somebody is behaving in a criminal way or in a negative way or just an unconscious toxic way, then I can understand why they're behaving that way. And it doesn't mean I permit them to continue causing harm to myself or other people, but I can accept the fact that they are behaving that way without judging them or demonizing them or criticizing them. I can accept and understand them. And the same with myself as well. So there's a kind of openness, a total acceptance. Also, the self actualizing person has deep compassion, deep feeling of connection with other people. When you see somebody suffering, it's like you can really feel their suffering, and you can, Maslow calls this increased identification with the human species. So it many people are very compassionate towards their own in group, right? If I'm a right winger, oh, I love all the right wingers, but all the left wingers, they're evil Satan worshippers, or they're prissy snowflakes. Or if I'm a Christian, I love all Christians, but all the Muslims and Jewish people and Buddhist people and atheists, they can all go fuck themselves. So the self-actualizing person has universal compassion and increased identification with the entire human species. I love all people just because they're a human being. Regardless of what their beliefs are, what their skin color is, or what their political philosophy is, I can accept every single person. And that's a very rare thing. Not many people can say that. Also, we have increased in individuality. So increased individuality, meaning you can think for yourself. You're not just like a blind sheep, where when we're young, we're enculturated by all our culture, where we're kind of indoctrinated into the beliefs and ideologies of our culture, the worldview. But the self-actualizing person starts to break free from cultural beliefs and paradigms and assumptions. And we can start to actually think for ourselves. And we can actually start to generate our own unique understanding of reality through direct contemplation. And that moves us into our next point. The self-actualizing person, excuse my handwriting, guys. The self-actualizing person has deep understanding of life. And it is possible for you to acquire such a deep, profound understanding of life, of reality, to actually directly understand the nature of consciousness, the nature of existence, of the nature of myself. What am I? What is reality? What is experience? What is consciousness? Why is there reality at all? Why reality? Why is there something that exists rather than nothing at all? What is reality made of? What's the substance of reality? These questions might sound philosophical or impossible to answer. You might say, oh, Adam, those are just like airy-fairy philosophy questions. We can't, how can you know the answer to those? But actually, you can know the answer to those. And you don't have to take my word for it. If you actually take this as a temporary hypothesis and take it seriously, the possibility that a human being can actually know, without any doubt, can actually know the nature of existence, the source of reality, and they can know it directly. This is a serious possibility. You can discover it for yourself, and this is deeply fulfilling, extremely profound. This is almost like the purpose of all of life, to understand life at a deep personal level. This is so rare, never spoken about by anybody. I wish that when I was younger, someone sat me down and said, Adam, hey, did you know you can directly understand the nature of reality? I'd say, thank you for telling me that. Now I can actually strive towards that and not waste my life playing video games all day. The self-actualizing person has deep mindfulness, presence, and groundedness. So they're able to live in their experience. Mindfulness. They're able to live in the moment instead of being lost in thoughts and fairy tales and stories and being in the future or in the past in their mind. They can just be present in their body with what is. The self-actualizing person also has amazing body awareness. Again, sorry for my handwriting. Body awareness. So self-actualization is not only something that happens in your mind, but it's actually something that comes down and actually something you embody. It actually changes the way that you hold your body, the way that you breathe, the way how loose you are, the way you walk, the way you stretch, the way you move, the way you use your body, the way you have sex. The self-actualizing person is actually embodying consciousness, not just thinking about consciousness, not just building a philosophy in their head, but they're actually embodying the teachings and the practices. The self-actualizing person has conscious relationships. They learn how to relate to another person, how to listen to somebody, how to really try to understand another person. How do you have a conscious relationship? It's something that you can really go extremely deep in your intimate relationships and also in your friendships, but most people don't have conscious relationships where you grow together and explore reality together and push each other and just enjoy each other's presence and each other's company. Most people have toxic relationships where you're just distracting each other, pulling each other down, fighting with each other, criticizing each other, judging each other. That's what most people have. Also, the self-actualizing person has a balance between the left brain and the right brain. Or you could also say a balance between the mind and the heart. So some people can be too left-brained, too logical, too systematizing, too step-by-step, too pragmatic. Whereas some people can be too right-brained, where they're too creative. They're too zoomed out. They're looking at the big picture all the time, and they're not paying attention to any details. Unrealistic. So the left and the right brain need to be balanced in harmony so that we can balance the mind and the heart, so we can have the passion and creativity and childlike nature of the heart, and balance that with the adult mind of the practical, systematizing left brain. When these come in harmony and they balance together, you can become an extremely powerful person. Also, the self-actualizing person has deep internal confidence. This is something that is grounded in genuine love for oneself, genuine self-esteem. You don't have to put on a show of being confident. You don't have to pretend to be confident. You don't have to do something to appear confident, but you just are so grounded in your heart, you're grounded in yourself, in your own personal development, in your own vision for your life. You love yourself so much that you don't have to put on a show for other people. You can just be yourself and trust yourself. That's extremely attractive for other people as well. The self-actualizing person experiences, these are my own that I'm adding after Maslow, that I've experienced in my life and I've found in my own studies, that the self-actualizing person experiences more frequent synchronicity in their life experience. So their life experience actually synchronizes in kind of a mystical way, where there's constant coincidences that occur in their favor. So just for example, today I was thinking about should I go to the gym or should I just make the video first thing in the morning? And then as I was thinking, you know what, I'm gonna make the video first. I don't want to go to the gym. And whenever I make decisions, I'm always checking in with my heart. Because normally I'd go to the gym in the morning, but today it didn't feel right in my heart. Today it felt right to make the video first. So as I made the decision, okay, I'm gonna make the video first, I walk out of my bathroom, I go and I check the time, and it's 11:11 on the time. So people who are into numerology, whenever you see like a triple number or an 11:11, that's usually a confirmation from the universe, you could say, that you're in alignment. So when you're in conscious alignment, whenever I go on meditation retreats or I do psychedelics, I find that I am in such harmony and synchronicity with the flow of life that it's like everything is like, the whole universe is like conspiring in my favor. Also, the self-actualizing person just feels an abundance of positive energy. Now, this doesn't mean that they can't feel sad or low or depressed or confused or jealous or afraid. The self-actualizing person can feel all these negative emotions, but in general, they also feel an abundance of positive emotions, an abundance of positive energy, a higher vibration. which is generally what we're talking about here. These are all qualities of higher vibrational people. The self-actualizing person is a leader, and they are interested in setting a positive impact, setting a positive example for other people. All right, so this is the vision for what a self-actualizing person is. This is what is possible for you in your life if you strive towards it. Now, the question is, Adam, how do I strive towards it? What do I actually do? What are the action steps? What are the practices that I need to know in order to make this a reality for myself? Here are the practices that if you implement them daily, then, well, obviously you can't implement them all daily, but if you implement them gradually over a 5, 10, or 20-year period, then you will start to experience exponential growth in your life. So your growth curve, when you're doing these practices, is going to be like this. This is your growth over time function. So in the first year, you're not going to experience much growth. Let's say this is year 1. You're going to think that none of this stuff is working for you. You're not going to get immediate payback. You're not going to get immediate results. This is going to take time. You have to build the foundation. After year 2, you're going to see a bit of results, and you're going to say, okay, this is starting to work. After year 3, you're going to say, okay, everything is actually starting to take off now. After year 4, you're going to say, damn, my experience of reality is completely different than other human beings. I'm starting to reach into the top 1% of humans. And after year 5, 6, 7, we just take right off to the moon. And your growth and your satisfaction and your fulfillment grows exponentially more and more and more, to the point where the more you grow, the more you grow. And that's where life really starts to get amazing. So how do we grow? How do we self-actualize? Step 1, we need to do research, and we need to build the big picture of life. This is something that I help you do here on this channel, because this is one of my strengths. I love reading books. I love pulling from a wide variety of perspectives. So I'm not only talking about business here. I'm not only talking about personal development or even success. I'm talking about perspectives that I've personally pulled from science, from psychology, from anthropology and evolutionary psychology, from developmental psychology, from New Age and law of attraction stuff, which a lot of it is actually awesome, from philosophy, epistemology, metaphysics, from history as well, from business and marketing, from logic and math. I'm looking at my bookshelf right now, trying to remember, from just like literally hundreds of diverse perspectives. Learning about emotional management, just all these things, learning about creativity, doing your art, pulling from literally hundreds of diverse perspectives. Not only studying one school, I've studied basically every single religion, learning about enlightenment. Not only studying one school, but studying hundreds of different perspectives. And then what happens is you start to create a kind of big picture view where you start to kind of triangulate the patterns and principles. Because reading 5 books, okay, you get some good information about how to improve yourself. Reading 20 books, okay, you're starting to get some clues for how to live well. But when you're reading hundreds of books, I've personally read over 150 books right now at this point in my life, from many different perspectives, high quality books, from experts who are at the cutting edge of their respective fields. Because I'm interested in building a very worldly and a very big picture view of reality. This is key. This is so important. And this is something that will take you 5, 10, 20 years to do. But it is highly, highly worth it, because if you really think about it, the most valuable thing that you have is your view of reality. Everything you do in your life is determined by your view of reality. Everything is about your mindset. So constantly I'm thinking about, how do I improve my understanding of how reality works? I also study a lot of politics, economics, and ecology as well, systems thinking. So how do I improve my understanding of reality? If we want to self-actualize, first we just need to understand the landscape. We need to read the map before we can go venture out into the territory. Now, as you're building your big picture, you also need to be taking action as well, because you can't wait until after you read 100 books to take action. We're doing both of these simultaneously. So also what is required is radical open-mindedness and the willingness to pull from new perspectives that normally I would have not been interested in exploring. So, for example, if you're a Christian, then you need to start opening your mind up to reading Muslim books, to reading Buddhist books, to reading atheist, scientific books, to reading New Age books. So you can't just stay in your little bubble. You have to venture out. You have to go out and explore new topics. That's the only way that you learn. You also have to have a willingness to question your old paradigms. A willingness to question, what if everything I've been taught about reality is wrong? What if the very basic, fundamental things that I've been taught, like we live on planet Earth, or that I'm a human being, or that I've evolved from apes, what if that is wrong? How would you know? How you have to have this kind of radical open-mindedness to the point where you even doubt the roundness of the earth. I'm not saying the earth is flat or round. I'm saying we need to have this kind of radical doubt where we really just, it's skepticism. But it's not fake skepticism, it's real skepticism. It's true, genuine skepticism of, how do I know that I'm not deluded about literally everything? How do I know that I know what reality is? How do I know that my teachers are telling me the right things? We also require mindfulness training as well. So this is just meditation. Mindfulness training is key for self-actualizing because it helps you just connect to your experience. It helps you be present in the moment. This is really what helps you with all the emotional mastery, with the creativity even. Mindfulness and meditation are a key. Contemplation as well. Sitting and contemplating. Thinking about one topic deeply for an extended period of time with focus. So when I was making this video, I had to spend hours and hours and hours. I've spent many long hours contemplating, what is self-actualization? How does a human being live an amazing life? So sitting and contemplating. Also doing shadow work as well. Exploring the areas of yourself that you're ashamed of, that you're hiding. Exploring your shadow. What are the things that you would prefer to keep in the dark? Going into those and shining light on those. Discovering what are your core values and your top strengths. What is your personality? What's your Myers-Briggs type? What's your astrology chart? What are your gene keys? What's your human design? What's your Enneagram? So actually learning about what's my personality? What am I like? What are my natural strengths? What are your top 5 strengths? I have other videos that explain to you how to learn that for yourself. Also, building valuable skills. So once I know what my top strengths are, now we can build those strengths intentionally with the mastery process. So if I find out that my top 5 strengths, for example, are humor and playfulness, logic, spirituality, compassion, and whatever. So I discover what my top strengths are. Then we actually need to build these strengths as skills. And we do this using the mastery process, where we actually discipline ourselves to do deliberate practice. And that's a lot easier when you're practicing something that you actually love. So for example, I practice making YouTube videos. I practice speaking to the camera. And I've practiced this for hundreds of, probably over 1,000 hours at this point, and I'm still not anywhere near the 10,000 hour mark. I'm still practicing. And the reason why I practice is because I actually love doing this. So you find what you love, and then you practice it, knowing that in the beginning you're going to suck. And even in the middle, you're going to suck. But we fall in love with the practice. And we get better and better slowly over time. And we focus on becoming a master. Also, quitting addictions is key. I talk a lot about that on my channel. Building healthy habits as well. Just basic like exercise, diet, and sleep. Also, experimenting with psychedelics as well are very important for doing self-actualization. So experimenting with psychedelics is key. And I talk about how to do that safely and not how to mess it up. Also, doing retreats and seminars. So actually spending $1,000 and going to a meditation center and doing a 10-day meditation retreat, or actually going to a personal development seminar like a Tony Robbins seminar or something like that. Retreats and seminars are powerful ways to grow. Also, yoga, stretching, breath work, body work. Learning developmental psychology is key. Building healthy relationships, solving your basic needs, so your relationships, your money situation, and also your health as well. Expressing yourself creatively, and also being part of a community that is interested in self-actualizing as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in 1 second. I have an announcement. So in general, that was how to self-actualize, and I talk a lot about that on the channel. This was the vision for really what we're doing here on this channel. I am interested in helping you to live the best possible life for yourself. I'm interested in showing up every week to make these videos where I give you understanding of your own psychology, and I give you understanding of reality and of personal development and how to do it properly. This is what I study full time. This is my number one interest. I already have a lot of experience with this stuff, and really what I'm helping you to do is I want to help to guide you to become the best version of yourself, so that really we can have a positive impact on the overall consciousness level of humanity. So really don't underestimate the power that one single person can have on the entire collective. Just one single person who self-actualizes can change the entire trajectory of the human species permanently. Just one person. Like Mahatma Gandhi, for example. This 90-pound guy who single-handedly crushed the British Empire, which was the most powerful empire that the world has ever seen. Single-handedly, this one 90-pound guy, without even lifting a finger, was able to organize every single person in India to rally against the British imperialism. So, and just one person setting an example for everyone else can really transform humanity. And we're really at a point in humanity's history where we need to focus more on our interior development. It's not about building new technologies. That's important. We need to build new technologies. But it's not only about that. Really, the main thing that is threatening humanity is the fact that we're just not personally developed enough. We just don't have enough understanding of what existence is. We don't have enough appreciation for the magic of life and of creation. So if you can be the one rare person that develops yourself internally and takes this self-actualization stuff all the way to the end, then you can have such a positive impact on the entire world. And that's really what I'm interested here in doing. I want to really help you to transform yourself meaningfully. I'm not interested in sharing with you quick tips or brief ways to solve your deficiency needs, to make more money or have more sex. Sure, we'll talk about that here on this channel because that stuff's important. But really, I'm not interested in giving you quick tips. I'm interested in deeply transforming your psychology, transforming who you are as a person so that you start to embody the highest potential of what it actually means to be a human being. That's the only way to do self-actualization. We need to rip out the entire foundation of your understanding of reality, and we need to build a new foundation from scratch so that we can erect a beautiful, tall skyscraper that's solid and sturdy. All right, guys, that's what I'm interested in here. I have an announcement. I just released a self-actualizing community, which is a community of people who are interested in this vision of becoming the best version of themselves. This community, we're going to be sharing resources and tips with each other. We're going to be giving each other emotional support. We're going to be making friends with each other. And I'm going to be sharing resources, tons of resources that I've gathered along my journey. Tons of just like books and just tons of videos and podcasts and all these resources that I've collected in my database. I'm going to be just sharing with you all of that for completely free on the Self-Actualizer community. So come join this movement with us. You can click the first link in the description to join the group, and that will really help to hold you accountable. That'll help you to feel like you're not alone on this journey. You can actually ask for help, and you can offer help to other people, and you can talk to other people that are on the same journey as you. We can build a community and really create a movement, a powerful movement of doing deep foundational personal development. Not surface level stuff, but deep transformative stuff. If that's something you're passionate about, then this is the place for you. I'm bringing everyone together, everyone who's passionate about this deep personal development. All of us, we're going to be on that Self-Actualizer community. So come join, come share your gifts, come interact. And otherwise, I make new videos every week. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next one.